Welcome to AlertLogic's how-to video on creating flat file collection policies. To create a flat file policy, on the left-hand menu, scroll down to the Policies section and the Flat File link. Once here, you can create a policy to access your flat file logs in any format that you like. You can see we have some pre-created policies here. These policies can then be applied to sources and begin collection. Today we're going to create a new source and apply an existing policy, as well as creating a new policy inline. On the Sources page, click the gear icon and select New Source. You then choose the source type, Flat File Collection. Provide a name. Decide whether to use one of your appliances or one of your existing agents to tie your flat file collection to. Step down to use an existing or create a new policy. We can choose any existing policy, for example, this IIS logs policy. We can decide to apply collection alerts for if we're not receiving logs for a duration of time to send a notification that we're not collecting. And we can also choose to apply tags. For example, my IIS East Coast. And then use those tags to search for the source and search log messages in the messages interface. Clicking Save would create this flat file policy, create this source, and begin collection within 5 minutes. To create a new policy in line, click the Create New Policy button. The inline form will load, allowing you to set all the flat file configuration parameters directly in the source creation form. So we create a policy name, example FFC collections, and we provide the file path with some help text here. And we provide a file name or pattern. You can use timestamps and stars here to indicate how to detect rotation schemes. We're going to say that the files are named EX, then they have some kind of rotation scheme, and then they have an extension of .log. We can auto-detect the rotation scheme, use several standard rotation schemes in file names that are common across systems. I'm just going to use auto-detect here because we use the Unix timestamp, epoch timestamp, which starts us off quite nicely. We decide whether or not our file contains single-line log messages or multiple-line log messages. And then we decide if log messages are a fixed number of lines, say every message is 3 lines long, or if there's a pattern to my messages, such as every message starts with a known pattern, has a known pattern in the middle of the message, or has a known pattern at the end of the message. Your known pattern could simply be a new line character or a carriage return in a new line character. You can also use regular expressions. We support Perl-compatible regular expressions or PCRE expressions. We're going to go with fixed number of lines and 3. Then we decide how to handle timestamps in our messages. Setting the message time as the collect time will tell our systems to use their local time zone and their local time setting for each message they collect. You can parse times for messages using predefined formats, of which we have several ready to go. There's a fairly wide selection here that fits most systems. However, you might need to use a custom timestamp format. We have certain allowed specifier codes that you can mix and match in any order, and the check format button will tell you if you've typed in known characters for the custom timestamp. We're going to use message time as collect time. I don't really care when these messages happened, I'm just getting them for historic reasons, and so that I have them in the interface and can analyze and report on them. This is an agent-based system, so I don't need to use a credential at all. If I were performing remote flat file collection, I could choose an existing credential, or I could choose to create a new credential for the system that would then be saved for further use. We'll just select this credential so that this policy could then be used with remote collectors, just in case. And then I can create a collection schedule, which is saying when to collect files. Creating a new schedule will allow me to name it, choose the time zone it operates in, and add what's called blackout periods. Blackout periods are time where we do not collect the file, such as your business hours, 8 to 5 Monday through Friday for a remote retail location. We don't want to interfere with customers' traffic. We can add these blackout periods to have more meaningful use of our bandwidth. We can then add our collection alerts as we would have done before. We've got our tags already here. Our policy has been created, and we just have to click Save. We can see at the top of the list that we've created a new flat file collection source, name, location, everything else, and our new policy. We can also pop back over and edit our policy without having to edit our source at all. Here's our example FFC collections policy. It is applied to that source. And if we decided that we needed to make a change, we can just make it right here. And it'll immediately apply to all sources that it is associated with in the user interface. Meaning we no longer have to manage the source, but rather the policy for all of our sources. That covers flat file collection configuration for remote and agent-based sources in the AlertLogic user interface. For more information about Log Manager, view our other how-to videos or visit docs.alertlogic.com.